There are 4 stages to learning anything. Stage 1 is unconscious incompetence. In other words, you are completely unaware that you are very bad at whatever it is you're about to try and do. And then stage 2 is to then become consciously incompetent. So you try whatever it is. For most of us, of course, that is playing guitar, and you realize almost immediately that you are terrible at it and it's going to take some work to get better. Stage 3 then is to become consciously competent. So this means you can now do it. You can play guitar, whatever it is you're trying to learn. However, it still takes a lot of conscious activity. It still demands a lot of your attention. And then ultimately, if you do that long enough, hopefully you'll arrive at stage 4, which is to become unconsciously competent. That's when you are very good at what you're doing and you can do it with your eyes closed. It's like when you hand it over to the autopilot, you don't even have to think about it. Like I said, ultimately, that is where we want to arrive. Let's go ahead and put this into context then and see how we can apply this to the guitar. So, chances are you're not at stage 4 just yet. You are not unconsciously competent at this, or else, let's face it, you wouldn't be watching this video. It's more than likely that you are at stage 2 with something that you're trying to learn. You are trying to learn it and you are aware off the bat that it needs a lot of work. Now, our goal, of course, is to get to the next stage as quickly as possible. We want to bridge that gap. Life's short. We want to learn as much as we can. So we're going to look at how to do that. Now, often you're going to hear people referred to as gifted learners. You know, these are people who appear to bridge the gap or get between one stage and the next reasonably quickly. And I'm here to tell you that most of that isn't down to the fact that somebody in the sky has gone, you're going to be great at guitar. It's just most of the time down to their approach, their mental approach to what they are doing. They're not just sat there playing the same thing, hoping that it's going to get better. They've done something differently, and we want to know what that is. Sometimes, however, it is going to be down to physical attributes. You know, if you're trying to learn something and your hand starts weakening up, it's teaching you need to develop your strength. You know, if you haven't got the flexibility in your hands to hit these huge fret spans, then that's what you need to work on. But the number one thing to be conscious of here, no pun intended, is that the chances are, if you can't play what it is you're trying to play up to speed, most of the time it's because you don't know what you're trying to play well enough. If you're trying to learn a scale, if you've just learned a new scale and you're trying to blitz through it at 200 beats per minute, you cannot be surprised when it falls apart because you're trying to think while you're going through it. And as Zach Wilde once said, if you're thinking, you're stinking. If you're having to think about what you're doing it wrong. You've got to get to the point where you are almost at stage 4 with just the shape of what it is you're trying to do, whether it be a chord, whether it be a scale, whether it be a song. You've got to know it like the back of your hand, and then you can start to apply the speed. And I'm telling you this because hopefully it's going to save you a hell of a lot of frustration, because I wish somebody had sat me down when I started at 13 years old and said, look, slow down, know it like the back of your hand, then apply the speed. And although it may seem to take a long time up front, it is short-term hardship and long-term gain. You're going to put a lot in at the start, and then exponentially and very quickly things will transform and then you'll get up to speed.